Peace, y'all. It's the Lord here, Co-World, and I'm over here kicking it with the guy, Jay Wiggs. What's good, sir?
Good, Brody.
Can't call it as usual. Just welcoming everybody back to another episode of Brodie Sports Talk here. As usual, before we get started, just want to thank everybody for supporting us here on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We are over 1 million viewers and counting, way over. I mean, we lost count now, Wiggs. Like we don't even count the views now that we hit 1 million. We're millionaires now. You know what I'm saying? So we don't. It's just residual views now for us. You know what I'm saying? But we need to get the subscribers now. We got 500 subscribers that we got to get to, y'all. We got to get there by y'all clicking on the bottom right hand corner and liking and subscribing and telling a friend to tell a friend. But to go ahead and get started with everything, shout out to everybody who is still holding it down with the government jobs and the public sector jobs, while the shutdown, it was going down. And also, happy, Veterans Day, also to all the vets out there, that are still working and not getting paid. Hopefully everything is going to be good to go by Thursday, by what they're saying. But, in that spirit, Wiggs, we got a State of the Union address right now that we gotta address right now in the league. The power rankings have been revised, and the Brodies will be here to say that we were somewhat wrong. I think we all were. I mean, if you really want to think about it, I think everybody was pretty much wrong as far as the power rankings. So we're going to go over the top 5 power rankings out there, Brodies, and we're going to kick it off with a little bit of controversy. Wiggs, who you got coming in at number 5?
All right, so we're in week 10 going into week 11, Co?
Yep.
Okay, so listen, it doesn't matter what week it is, as long as Lamar Jackson is in the lineup. Give me the Ravens in the top 5. Man. because they're trash, I'll put them at number 5. Any other week, I want to have them number 1, number 2, number 3, top 3, because that's how good they are with Lamar Jackson. But because they are having a tough season, again, my big argument is they're on a 3-game winning streak with Lamar back in the lineup.
Let them know, Wiggs, because you're ruffling some feathers with the Stephen A. top 5 type stuff.
Hey, listen, because again, it's not about the record; it's about who do you want to face. It's about matchups.
I got your back on this,
and that, in my opinion, is why the Ravens can always be in the top 5. I see Lamar. I like them ahead of the Bills right now. I like them ahead of the Chiefs. It's a couple teams that we're not going to have on this list. The Broncos, the Patriots have a much better record than the Ravens.
Snubs. There's definitely going to be some snubs.
But the Patriots don't make my list. I'm trusting Lamar Jackson over Drake, mate. So give me Lamar and the Ravens at number 5.
Now, as controversial as it sounds, to your point, the season isn't over. So, as far as top 5 teams in the league right now, record-wise, of course, they're not in it. But as far as teams that you don't want to play, you can make an argument because they still have King Henry. They got Lamar Jackson, to your point. And, I mean,
weapons.
The NFC North is still wide open because the Steelers have shown that they really can't make a difference. And old Joe and young Joe, they can't figure out what's going on over there with that defense. The locker room's already divided, and then the Browns are still browning. So,
and the Ravens are definitely going to win that division. I'm gonna call that
they're
right
still
now.
The Ravens are definitely going to win. A lot of places, yeah.
Exactly, they're favored. They're going to win that division as long as Lamar is healthy. In my opinion, they're going to win playoff games this year. The only team I'm worried about is the Chiefs in the playoffs. And that's just the playoffs. In the regular season, I think they're better than them. So we'll see. But I don't see them losing another game this year.
You know what? And again, Wiggs, is controversial as it sounds, there are some people out there that are taking the Ravens to still win the division despite where they were. A couple of weeks back, they were still taking them. So it's controversial, but hey, I'm all for it. Now,
let me go over the schedule real quick, Co.
Okay.
Just to give you a quick, they got the Browns next.
That's a W.
Then the Jets.
That's another one.
Bengals. That's a divisional game, but they should be able to win. Steelers, again, divisional,
Possible
should be able to
one,
win. Bengals again.
Hold on. All right, so that's 5 games. So they're 4-5. So that puts them at 9-5. All right.
Mm-hmm. And then Patriots.
That could be a win as well. Yeah.
Could be a win. That again, that's who I brought up. I brought up Drake May. Would I rather have Drake May at 8-2 or the Ravens at 4-5?
With Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, with Lamar Jackson. Give me the Ravens.
Okay.
They have the Packers next.
That's a toss.
That should be a good game. But we just saw
they're
the Packers,
already 10-5 if you know at this point. So I mean,
and we just saw the Packers lose to the Eagles, only putting up 7 points. Crazy in prime time, and then they have the Steelers after that. Again, another divisional game. Well, it'll all come down to that. But yeah, in my opinion, they could
10-7 or 12-5. It's still very possible.
And there's not one team on this list that has a better quarterback than Lamar. The only one you would say is playing better is Drake May. But again, I'm taking Lamar over Drake May.
Yeah, that's a good point, Wiggs. Great point. Okay. So you heard it first here, Brodies. Now, number 4, this is a de facto number 4. And I say that with the utmost facetiousness. You know what I'm saying?
With the utmost disrespect.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Over there with Saquon Barkley over there. Now, and I only say that because of one reason. Quarterback. Jalen Hurts, I love you fantasy-wise. You know, you're still a solid player and all that good stuff. But the bottom line is you're being exposed as a pocket passer. It's clear as day. You can only throw a few routes on the route tree. I've said this to my cousin. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to my cousin Jeff. You know, they're both Eagles fans. They live out in Delaware. You know, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Or from Delaware, rather. But fair enough. You know, they're Super Bowl champions. They got a great defense. Saquon Barkley is still good. But A.J. Brown is out there on the island just chilling, reading his books. And the other half of the law firm is just scrapping for fantasy, bones out there as well. You know, so, but their defense is still getting it done. And just like the 2000 Ravens, as long as they can get a lead of 3 points or more, they can win the game because their defense is going to keep people at bay, and they can just give it to Saquon Barkley or Jalen Hurts. He's still a winner. He'll find a way to make a play to win the game, and they'll win a scrap like the 10-7 win over the Packers. So give me the Eagles at 4. What you think, Wiggs?
We're definitely in better territory. You know, the Ravens are ranked 15th on the ESPN list, and I had them at number 5. The Eagles are ranked number 1 on ESPN's power rankings.
Yep.
So I would say we're in better territory as far as like top 5 teams. But I'm with you, Co. Like, how much do I want to bet on Jalen Hurts? It's a quarterback. At the end of the day, it's a quarterback league.
Yeah.
And if Jalen Hurts is my quarterback, I'm not that confident in him. But when you look at the defense, when you look at Saquon, when you look at Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown if A.J. Brown is literally just a distraction, that's still enough. Like, they still have the pieces. They still can get away with the tush push, false starts and stuff like that.
Blatant false starts.
Yeah, it's going to be done next year. This is the last year of the tush push.
Yeah.
So, because the Eagles can still do the tush push, because they still have probably the best team on paper, they're going to be in the top 5. So I like it. They could be higher, man. By the time the end of the season comes around, with the running game not doing what it needs to do now, that might be something they keep developing. They still have really good offensive linemen, so if they get the running game going, they might be right back in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that. Now, a particular team that you picked ahead of them lost to the Eagles in the playoffs, and who you got coming in at number 3, Wiggs?
It's the Los Angeles Rams, man. Matthew Stafford.
Cold white boy. That's a cold white boy right
there.
I love me some Matt Stafford.
I'm telling you, Matt Stafford is 20 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, I think, in his last 5 games. I think he has 4 touchdowns in his last 3. 4 touchdowns a game in his last 3 games. I don't think anybody's done it since the 70s. Matt Stafford is probably going to win MVP over Jonathan Taylor. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit later, Coach.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you have an MVP, again, quarterback, if you got a good quarterback, they should be on the top 5. Matthew Stafford, they were worried about his back coming into the season. Pause. Right. They were worried about his back coming into the season. It doesn't look like there's anything to worry about. And
thank God for that.
Yeah, and I like the Rams for that reason.
Okay, I agree with that, Wiggs. I mean, they got some firepower out there, and they have one of the greatest offensive minded, coaches in Sean McVay of all time, man. I mean, like, honestly, man, as far as offensive minds in football, Shanahan's obviously come to mind. Bill Walsh, Joe Gibbs, but like as far as modern offensive football coordination and play calling, Sean McVay is one of the best. He showed it when he just beat the Shanahan's this weekend. So I like that. And their defense is still young. Now, to mention Jonathan Taylor, to your point, I got the Colts coming in at number 2 as far as power rankings, mainly because of Jonathan Taylor. I mean, this guy, speaking of a run here, this guy's getting 200-yard, 3-touchdown games almost every game, it seems like. I mean, fantasy-wise, he's arguably the best in fantasy right now, even against quarterbacks. With that, that's crazy. That shows up the production. But Danny Dimes is still playing good game manager football. He's not who we think he is, but he is who he should be, which is a game manager with a good run game and just dink and dunk here, make a play here and there, and let the defense, do what they do because they got sauce now, So give me the Colts. I think by the time, at the end of the season, I think, especially on defense, they'll gel a little bit more with Sauce Gardner. And hopefully, Lord willing, Taylor just continues this run, just like Saquon Barkley did. And if you watched him, he got the blood now. But who you got coming in at number 1, Wiggs?
I was about to say, before I said number 1, Co, I don't think I like the Colts, man. I don't
because think of Danny Dimes?
Because of Daniel Jones. I think we're starting to see a little bit of chinks in the armor.
Yeah, as he got exposed.
As the year goes along, he got exposed. And that's by a team. What was it? The Chargers? I'm gonna have to look that one up. Let me look at the Colts schedule real quick because I don't believe in him, and Jonathan Taylor is gonna have to stay healthy. And we see running backs a lot of times they're really good throughout the whole year, and then the end of the year comes along and
that's what I'm saying. Lord willing, it's as long as he lasts past week 16.
I mean, for fantasy, yeah. Hey, Coach. Coach said I ain't worried about the rest of it as long as I get
Lord, keep everybody healthy. And the injury bug has been hitting this year, man, especially in Washington.
But the Chargers. The Chargers beat the hell out of them. Oh no, I'm sorry. They beat it was the Steelers that just beat the Colts.
Yeah,
that got all those turnovers. So Daniel Jones is my only worry because again, if I'm gonna just go back to quarterback, in my opinion, he's maybe you put him with Jalen Hurts. What would you say, Cole? Would you rather have Daniel Jones or Jalen Hurts right now?
Daniel Jones. No, my bad. Jalen Hurts.
No, I'm not.
Give me Jalen
Hurts. I'm not mad at that. If that's
give me Jalen Hurts because he's a winner.
Yeah, I think the Super Bowl what gives Jalen Hurts the edge, gives Jalen Hurts a nod, I should say.
Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah, exactly. 2 and 1 win. So
yep.
So I like that for the Colts. But then for number 1, and this quarterback is just okay. But Sam Darnold and the Seahawks coming in at number 1. I like the defense, and again, I guess that says a lot about the Colts too, Cole. The Colts defense is really good too.
Yep.
They just got Sauce Gardner. Shout out to the Jets for cleaning house. You know, they're going to have a lot of first round picks. We'll see if they can do something with it.
Hopefully.
But the Colts and I think her name is Jackie Irsay on the sideline for the Colts.
She's a student. She's learning. Hey,
yeah, no, I like what she's doing. I like
what I see. But yeah, but Seattle's pedigree right now, like it's kind of like they just picked up where Pete Carroll left. You know, they stayed with their organization's identity, which is a stout defense, solid run game, and solid quarterback play. But this time around, instead of having beast mode in that stout run game, they have a stout run game with a two running back monster. But now they have a prolific passing game with arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the league, bro, with Shaheed and then Jigba on the other side, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, getting Shaheed at the trade deadline was very dangerous for the Seahawks because that's the type of threat that you need to win a championship. You know, when teams try to pinpoint, you know, on JSN, you can't do that when Shaheed can go over the top, and Shaheed can go over the top. He does it every game. You know, we see it in fantasy every week. It's like, you know, you look at the top receivers and you see Shaheed, and it's like, bro, who the hell is Shaheed? We've been seeing it for the last 2 years. He's always in there, and he did it again last week with his first week in Seattle. Not for a touchdown, but just getting some catches. To do that in the first week. I see them as a number one team. Can they win the chip? Again, I don't know if I trust Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones in these number 1 and 2 spots to win the championship. But as far as where they are right now, and their teams, again, this is a whole team. They are quarterbacks, but they have the best teams right now. So 1 and 2, Seahawks, Colts, Rams, Eagles, Ravens completes our top 5.
That's the Stephen A version of the Brodie top 5. Wait, I gotta fry you up, but I got your back on that because again, man, you make a great point. Right now, I don't think to your point, I don't think you want to play the Ravens, man. But let us know what you think.
If anybody disagrees, put your money up, man.
Hey, we're here for it. Now, again, like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Click on the bottom right-hand corner and tell a friend to tell a friend. Now, this is a Washington-based, show here, Brodies, and again, kind of sticking to the service as far as the themes here. A lot of our service members out there, again, happy Veterans Day. They come home from war or serving, and they suffer from what is called PTSD. It's post-traumatic stress disorder, where they have flashbacks or just repercussions of being a man of war. You know, my grandfather suffered from it. I have countless mentors that suffer from it. In my line of business, I've talked to a lot of people that suffered from it. So just to kind of keep that theme, if you will, in honor of them, we have a lot of people out there in the sports world that have been dealing with a lot of PTSD, Wiggs, and that's post-traumatic Snyder disorder. Now, what does that mean? Well, Skins fans, we had a great year last year. We experienced something that in my lifetime that I never really experienced. The first game I ever watched was the Super Bowl that we won in 91, and I was brainwashed ever since then, Wiggs, that we had a winner. And they haven't won nothing since outside of a handful of years. But last year was different. Last year we had hope like we had in 2012. But we knew that was a facade.
Promise, man.
We knew 2012 was a facade, but we lived it out anyway. We still believed, but last year we believed in something different because we saw it with our own eye. And it came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Mm-hmm. But this year is different, man. This year is kind of like we're back to reality, if you will. And a lot of fans are going back and forth on, should we fire Adam Peters or should we get rid of Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr., you know, and all this other stuff. I mean, we've been frying them up, right? But Wiggs, are we having a post-traumatic Snyder disorder? Are we just being triggered by all the turmoil we went for the past quarter of a century? Or is this just a fluke season and next season we're going to get back on track like we did last year?
It's a good question to ask, and we're the right fans to ask this question to, because like you said, it's not just being a fan of a sorry team. You know, teams can suck all the time. It's being a fan of a sorry organization. And we've been a fan of a sorry organization for a long time. I don't think this organization is sorry anymore. I always say, start from the top up. When you have Josh Harris in position now, he's a much better leader. You can just see it across the board. The stadium is in better shape. The locker room is in better shape. The training camp off season is in better shape. The people that he's hired, I believe that he's hired people that are good character people. I think they've tried to build a facility that's a facility that people want to come to. And again, they are building a new stadium. So,
and an organization they want to come to on top of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So as far as that's concerned, we're not in the Snyder era anymore. But as far as the team is concerned, we're playing like shit right now.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean we're going to play like shit next year. But where we are right now, we can either call it like we see it, or, we can say, oh, let's not be too hard on them. I mean, but, we got to call it like we see it. That's a part of critiquing sports.
Yeah.
Is, if you play like shit, we got to say it. And when we play well, like we did last year, we can congratulate and celebrate and do all of that. So we got to do that last year. And this year, we're not playing well. We're losing. Point blank, period. We're losing. Yeah. So it just makes sense. Too. Yeah, we're getting blown out by like 20 plus points a game in a row. Dan Quinn just took over the coaching. I mean, the defensive play calling.
Yep.
Going forward this week. So we'll see if that changes anything. Hopefully it does. I don't think we have the personnel, quite frankly, because of injury. I don't think we had it before injury outside of Jaden just being, everything that he was last year and more. And he hasn't been that. So, I don't think it's like panic mode or anything like that. Let me say that as well, Cole. I don't think any fan should be panicking. I don't think there's any reason for us to panic, because in my opinion, a lot of this was easy to see. And that's why I've been blaming Adam Peters so much, because we were the oldest team in the league. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of players that were injury prone. We got rid of players that helped us win. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Allen is in Minnesota right now. Minnesota has a top 5 rushing defense. Mm-hmm. He helped us last year. Mm-hmm. We got rid of him. Jeremy Chin was a great safety for us. He's a great safety in this system that Joe Witt likes to run. We got rid of him, so that, for me, I'm not panicking, because these were things that were easy to see, and hopefully these are things that are easy to correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point, Wiggs. I mean, just to piggyback on that, we got rid of Fowler. That's 10 sacks right there that we that we got rid of, on the defensive side, and our defense is already trash. We got rid of on the offensive side, Zacchaeus and De'Ami Brown, and all the sports commentators and podcasts out there. You're welcome. Thanks for borrowing our stuff. We said it first. Just a side note there, but I think for me, if you were to have told me after Snyder got sold the team officially, and you were to have told me that last year were to have happened, this year were to have happened, but next year is a full reset button with an all new roster. People are healthy. Terry signed, so we ain't got to worry about the BS of all that stuff that comes with new money. All those new devils that come with the new levels. The problem is this organization has been in the pits and ain't used to winning. and they don't know they got full of themselves, Wiggs, when they got that new money. I've seen it before. You know what I'm saying? I've experienced it, Wiggs. You know what I'm saying? So they think, oh, we got 5, we good. We don't need to do this, that, and the third. But what they ended up doing was they messed up the flow. People forget Terry McLaurin was here before the new regime, before Josh Harris and Peters and company in 5. So how could you treat the leader of this organization and who was remaining after the smoke cleared? How could you treat him like that? Was he tripping as far as how much he wanted? Of course. But come on, man. At the end of the day, hindsight, obviously, but we have the money to give him the money he asked
for. They ended up caving. Hindsight 2020. Adam Peters ended up caving and giving Terry what he wanted. So it ended up being on him.
We don't know what the first initial offer was, but the offer that Terry signed for, if he would have offered him that at the jump, we wouldn't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying?
It would have been good.
Now, as far as Snyder goes, we had a history of bad contracts, bad trades. Ooh. You know, like the list goes on. We could just talk about the Haynesworth, Deion Sanders. The list goes on. So from a PTSD standpoint, that's kind of where the fan base is at. Like as far as like the signings, to your point, they're old. They're over the hill gang like Von Miller and Wagner.
But it's not because of Josh Harris jumping in.
Josh Harris is not. He's being the owner.
He's not. Yeah, he's not Jerry Jones. Stadium. He's not Daniel Snyder.
That's the good point that people can just rest their hat on. But the performance on the field, the problem is us as well, Wiggs. Like we thought we arrived last year. And I felt like after that butt kicking by the Eagles, I was like, okay, we're right there. But we have to do the off season right. And I've seen it happen too many times, Wiggs. I've been a fan of this organization my entire life. So I know how pertinent the off season is, especially when you're dealing with rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, and we saw it. We didn't do the off season right. We were basically ahead of the game. And when we're 2 podcasters ahead of the game, when it comes to the draft, we knew what the draft needs were. Everybody knew what the draft needs were. Defensive end, defense, defensive linebacker, like big defensive safety to replace Jeremy Chin. We knew what the needs were. We didn't do it. Sign Terry. We didn't do it. We didn't do it on time. You know, it's those things. Brian Robinson. They said Brian Robinson was running the ball better than Christian McCaffrey this week.
He had a good game.
And our running game is looking like
abysmal. Crosby Merritt is looking like the worst decision ever. I mean, to his point, we've been getting dubbed in the first quarter, so you can't really run the ball like that. You know what I'm saying? I get it. And plus, with no wide receivers, you know, that are really getting separation, there's no play action and run threats. You know what I'm saying? So
it looks bad. And then Mariota is I'm not happy with Mariota as a backup. I don't know if we should try to go to Josh Johnson, but Mariota,
I'm cool with Mariota. I'm cool with Mariota. Let me tell you why. He's dealing with the same crap 5 was dealing with. It is what it is.
The separation at receiver.
His best wide receiver is Deebo Samuels. Nothing against Deebo, but he's a gadget player. He's not a true number 1. Sassy, Sassy Samuel. He ain't sassy. He ain't been sassy in a little while, man. I got him on my bench. You know, so like Mariota is like his game is read option, running, play action, quick pass, you know, bootleg, all that type of stuff they did on the bill, you know, that you would do if you were with the Shanahan, you know what I'm saying, out there in San Francisco. You know, that's it. He would be perfect over there.
Now this is where the conversation gets tricky. We move from Mariota and we go to Jaden Daniels. Is Jaden Daniels having a sophomore slump? You said it earlier. We were wrong. We were wrong about the Commanders. Is Jaden Daniels having a sophomore slump? Is he regressing?
So, yeah, and here's what it is. It's a totality of things, not just performance. It's the injuries, right? It's the continuity with his receivers because of Terry being out. That's also part of the slump. And then, as far as his performance on the field, there's a couple of factors you also got to look at. One, defenses had a year to adjust to him. You have to factor that in. Two, the pressure he's under to perform because of that stellar season. He's trying to win the MVP on every play, right?
Yes. He's
trying to be Superman on every play. He's taking all these hits. He's trying to prove that he can take the hits for the life of me. I don't know why. It's an ego thing. I get it, And then because he's been injured, he hasn't had time to practice and get more continuity with the people that are still healthy. So when he does get out there, he's still learning in real time. So that's what I'm saying. Next year, I have hope because everybody is signed. Whoever ain't going to be here, ain't going to be here. We know that. He's going to be fully healthy. I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to say, you know what? This was a fluke, one-off season. I'm coming back for a third year. You heard it here first, just in case Bama's want to start talking about it. Cliff Kingsbury's coming back for a third year, and they're going to give it one more run. And then they're going to find a defensive coordinator. They're probably going to find some old school dude, some old head or something like that, or some young boy genius or whatever. And we're just going to make another run at it for a third year. But from a PTSD standpoint, fans out there, relax. It is what it is.
Two more questions, Ko. One, what do you see their wins being for the end of this year? And what do you see? What would be a good win number for next season? Because this is my thing for Adam Peters. Again, I love Josh Harris. We can damn near leave Josh Harris out of the conversation whenever we start. He is great.
Good. He's good.
Nothing to worry about there. So for Adam Peters, are we in a rebuild? Yes or no? We know year 2, we might as damn near can call this a wash. I don't think we'll be in the playoffs if we do make the playoffs.
No, we're done.
We know we're not doing anything. So really year 3, how many wins for year 3 do we need to have for you to feel good about where we're going?
10 wins. Not 9
we
to
need
10.
to get
I
back
would say
to 10 next
9
next
to
year.
10. 9 to 10. I'll give you 9 barring injury. But
okay.
10 wins because I look at it like this. Everybody that we're going to keep that's been injured, we have 13 starters, between offense and defense that are on IR or injured or, for a few games or whatever. All the players that we plan on keeping are going to come back healthy, right? So you got those players. Then you got draft picks and free agents. Next year's roster is going to be completely different. We're getting a new offensive coordinator.
That's why I'm surprised you said 10, because it's going to be a completely different roster.
I'm saying, the expectation is at least 10 because we got 5. 5 is guaranteed. 5 is guaranteed 6 to 8 wins
by itself.
Wins.
Oh man.
Okay, gosh, that dude is the truth.
All right. So then, second question: if it's not PTSD of the fans, is it the pressure that the fans put on the players? Because Jaden Daniels is showing signs that RG3 showed, which is that hero ball. It's something about being the black quarterback in DC. The fans gravitate to you, man, can you do it? It's like we're putting the pressure. Again, that's why Jaden Daniels' mom came out and said, can y'all stop comparing them to this? Because we're bringing this energy of, we want you to be better than this. We want you to be better than this. Oh, can you be what's the black quarterback that won?
Doug Williams.
For the Commander. Doug Williams. Yeah. Can you Doug Williams is still with the team. So is it that pressure that the fans in DC put on the players that kind of makes the situation what it is in DC.
I mean, like the problem is our era of fanhood wants to experience the glory years back in the prime golden years with Joe Gibbs, because that generation of fans, they're still alive, and they're the reason why we're fans, because they're telling us all about the great years with Gibbs and Doug Williams and Joe Theismann and Mark Rippon and, you know, and all this other good stuff, and Art Monk, and shout out to Art Monk, who got his jersey retired, unfortunately, during an ass kicking. But, you know, typical Skins fashion. But it's like, yeah, I mean, the pressure was there because we weren't expecting them to do what they did last year. Last year, if you were to say we were to have won 6 to 8 games, we would have been like, great. We'd have been like, great, man. Anything's better than the year before. But you're going to come out and deliver the greatest season that this generation has ever seen? I mean, it blows 2012
wins,
out of the
including
water.
the playoffs. Yeah, 14 wins, including the playoffs. It's crazy.
Even the Kirk Cousins years when he balled out in 2016.
We're not that good, yeah.
You know, it blows all of that out of the water because it was a legit chance, and it was like, yo, we finally have a legit quarterback. Like with RG3, we knew it was going to burn out fast. We knew that was smoke and mirrors. Yeah. We knew it. You know what I'm saying? And we knew with his ego, he wasn't going to be willing to change. And then with Snyder being it with everything, we knew it was just going to blow up into everybody's face. But here, the owner owns, the GMs, the coach's coach. We have that foundation. So I'm cool. So I'm not even really tripping off of this year. It's disappointing. Yeah. But Bama's don't want to fry the Brodies up because we got facts.
So do the fans need to relax? So do the fans need to relax?
We need to relax.
LAX.
We just need pause. We just need to ride it out. You know, like we just have to wait for the off season. We hit the reset button. Everything is fine, y'all. Like, look at it like this. Like I said, we have a total of 17 players that were out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
15 of them, right, were active players, like they were in and out of the roster, you know, or the lineup or whatever. But 13 of them were starters and pivotal players. Like, we lost our best defensive players, we lost our best offensive players. Like, you can't blame Quinn ultimately for the injuries, but one thing that we can talk about here, just as a smooth transition, is the coaching carousel, y'all. Now, we'll get into the Giants letting go of Daboll in a little bit, because the Brodies called that if you've been following us. But Joe Witt Jr. got demoted. He lost his job, essentially. And, I mean, I don't think Harris is going to meddle. I don't think Peters is going to meddle. They may leave this up to Quinn, but he's essentially been let go. And they're like, we're going to, you know, save the pride because this is the first go round. Everybody's new here. We're trying it out. We're not just going to throw you out there. We're going to take away your duties. You're going to help out. But when the season's over, you need to update your Indeed resume.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, they moved them from the side. First, they moved them from the sidelines to upstairs.
They moved them from upstairs to downstairs, and eventually they're gonna move them out the door.
Hey, next thing you know, they're just gonna have your box or that key card just not gonna work. You gonna show up to work?
Not turn your key card in.
Hey, dog. Here's
I
your
don't
box.
advocate for any brother losing their job because they're the right guys.
Hey, I've been there. I'm telling you, I've been. I didn't have the box. I didn't walk out with the box.
We've all been given the slip. Okay, we've all been told to log out. Everybody's got that tap on the shoulder, been told to log out.
Yeah, but and this is the thing. My thing with Dan Quinn, if they look better this week, why the hell didn't you step in earlier? You know, if they look better this week, because they looked better last year. And I said this with Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu looked better in this system last year. So why doesn't he look the same? He's the same player. He doesn't look injured. You know, Bobby Wagner, I get it. He's older. You know, he's not going to look the same. You know, same with Zach Ertz on offense. You know, he's older. He's not going to look the same. Yeah. Frankie Louvu's a young player. He should be 10 sacks, 8 sacks in by now. and he doesn't look the same. Now, he did have a better game this week. I don't know if that's because they changed some things with Dan Quinn being on the sideline.
Yeah.
They're seeing things maybe a little bit different. I do see some younger players getting in the game with some speed. Jordan McGee being one of the linebackers that's making an impact, in my opinion. We just lost Trey Amos. That's going to be a big factor for us
for the season too, man. Like,
yeah, I mean that's just another one. And we finally had Mike Sandersill on the outside playing corner with Trey Amos. I thought that was looking really good in the last game before Trey Amos went out. So yeah, that's just unfortunate because, man, like you said, we were already 13 plus injuries in. Like, what the hell else are we gonna do? So,
I mean, like, everybody needs to understand, like, that is the ultimate reason why the defense is horrible. I mean, your star players are out. The problem is with Joe Witt is, unfortunately, brother, your defense last year was trash. Your defense last year was the reason why we didn't make the Super Bowl. So if the reason why 5 had to be 5. So after 30 games, my dude, your defense has been trash at best, and have been deplorable otherwise. Like, we can't do anything right. Like, we can't tackle. We can't rush the passer. We can't stop the run. We can't cover. I mean, we can't take the ball away. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lions game, it got to the point where it was considered 7-on-7 flag football, considering how wide open these receivers were.
The holes were, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's embarrassing. And as a coach, again, you have to work with what you have to work with, but it's like your scheme ultimately has to work in some shape, form, or fashion. Like, when in Rome, blitz.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Coach.
Take blitz,
something away. Take something away. If we got to blitz every play just so they can't run and we're not giving the quarterback time in the pocket, at least we have an identity. You're not going to run against us, and you got to throw the ball fast. Maybe you might still, do something against us, but we got an identity. Right now, we don't have an identity, and that's the worst part. Again, it goes back to training camp. And that's where I'm going to start to look at Dan Quinn next year. I'm going to give Dan Quinn this year as just a incomplete. I can't grade this year because of injury. But next year, how are we looking at training camp? Do we have an identity on offense? Do we have an identity on defense? Dan Quinn, you're the coach, so it's got to be your stamp. You made a great point with the Seattle in the power rankings, Co. They lost their head coach and Pete Carroll. Mike McDonald is there, and they still look like the Seahawks that we thought they were. So that's coaching. Because if the coach left and they still looked like they looked before with a different coach, that means that coach is still implementing everything that they did. And Dan Quinn is a Seattle Seahawks alumni coach, if you want to call it. He used to coach the Legion of Boom. So his defense should look good. We hired you to have a good defense, and we gave you a offensive MVP Rookie of the Year. So, like, Dan Quinn, you got to get it together, man. You got to.
Yeah, we'll see how it looks differently, but sticking with the NFC East here, Wiggs, real quick. Daboll was let go from the Giants. I mean, we called it. We said he was on the hot seat. We said him and the GM had to go. And they kind of got the coaching carousel ride started early, in the amusement park here that we call the NFL all season. So it's something that's a little bit shocking, but when you give up the lead, a 10 plus lead 4 times in a row, that's not good. You can call it what you want, but on top of that, they're killing the new cold white boy that I like in Jackson Dart. You know what I'm saying? The new YN on the street.
And they got his boy hurt.
And they got Scatterbo. I mean, I can't blame him getting hurt on the coach, but you know,
but like, I do think Dable is running them boys though. I do think he's putting them in danger a little bit in that.
But his play
like Jackson Dart is man, Jackson Dart is running that joint. So he's already got, I think, his second concussion, and I think that's playing up.
No, he's in his fourth protocol.
Okay, so I think that, in my opinion, it played a part in the firing because Jackson Dart has looked good enough. It's like, yo, as a coach, you got to protect the asset. It's just like Dan Quinn having Jaden Daniels out there when he breaks his arm. It's like, yo, Dan Quinn, you got to protect the asset. That's on you. So Brian Dable, you got, again, Cam Scatterbo is gonna Cam Scatterbo. He is a tough runner. That's how he plays. So yeah, you can't blame Dayball for that one, but I do think he is, putting Jackson Dart in harm's way a little bit, and I think that played a part. You got to protect the number one asset.
And normally, when you have an old coach, like a coach that's been there for 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, and they draft a new quarterback, that's normally an indication that the coach is going to be on his way out. And they're just going to use the rookie year as a lame duck season. But unfortunately, if you do that, then you may stunt the quarterback's growth because you're going to bring in a whole new regime. And if that does, it's just a poor decision to do. And I'm all for it because I don't want the Giants to win shit. So let us know what you think there, Brodies. Click on the bottom right-hand corner, like and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Now, we're going to fantasy. We're going to talk about what our fantasies are here, Brodies, and it's going to be focused on the Hustle Fam Fantasy Football League, okay? The commissioner over here is the guy, Jay Wiggs, okay? And the current defending champion of the league, the Lord Cold World over here. Now, we got an important matchup this week here, Brodies. It's the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. Now, in case you didn't know, the number 1 seed is on this side. The number 2 seed is on this side. I think, are we tied right now, record-wise still?
Record-wise, we're tied.
We're still tied,
think you have more points. So you got the number 1 seed with no.
No, I got the tiebreaker.
Yeah, with more points.
Okay. Yeah. So,
the tiebreaker with the win. Yep.
Yeah. Now, in this league, it's an 8-team league. We got a few other people who are just, spot fillers. And then, outside of Mac, Mac is right there too. Shout out to Mac. You know what I'm saying? He's he's still the greatest in this league. He has the most chips. So I don't want to disrespect Mac. Yeah. We all know Grady's a false prophet. Now, as far as, what's going on here, Wiggs, we got a matchup with some pertinent players. Okay. Players that can possibly be a finals MVP or finals MVP, a fantasy MVP. We got a few so that we, on both of our rosters. Since we do this, Wiggs, it's only natural that you and I have the best teams in the league. Because come on, this is what we do. So, as far as your roster, who do you think would be your candidate for fantasy MVP?
It's got to be, in my opinion, Baker. And coming in a close second is Jahmyr Gibbs.
I was going to say that.
And then after that, James Cook. When you look at it, in my opinion, when you look at how you build a team, I think this is why running back is the most important position to pick early. I'm still going to say when it comes to like drafting, it's if there are not a lot of good quarterbacks, then get a quarterback first. Like if there's a run on a position, you got to go with that position.
Right.
You can't get left behind. So if there's a run on a position, yes, get it so you don't get left behind. But in my opinion, I think running back is the number 1 position. And I'm mad I didn't take Jonathan Taylor with my number 1 pick. I took Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think Jahmyr's been great. He had a great game this week.
Yep.
So I scored 100
for you.
I scored 163 points, and I should have had the most points scored.
Oh, I know.
But you had Jonathan Taylor, and who was your quarterback?
Goff.
And Goff. Yeah, they had like 45 and 48 points. So I'm like, this this shit looks crazy, man. Looking at the scores, so like, yeah, Baker did well, Jahmyr Gibbs did well, but then Goff and Jonathan Taylor did even better. That was just crazy to see. And that to me is like, yo, when I saw the matchup for this week, I was like, oh shit. And Jonathan Taylor's out, so that's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Not to get too far ahead into who might be your MVP, but yeah, for me it's Baker, because when Baker plays well, I win. Yeah. The 2 weeks that I didn't win, the weeks I should be in first place. If Baker had better games in the last 2 games that I've lost, it was on Baker. So
I don't know about should be wigs.
So yeah, but yeah, it's just Baker. So if Baker plays facts, well, I win.
That's facts.
So for me, he's my MVP.
I mean, one thing about the art of war, you have to study your opponent. And I'll be watching your roster, Wigs. I'll be checking you out, man. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
I got a roster though, every year.
Wigs, your roster is the reason why I make the transactions I make. I feel like our rivalry, Wigs, is like the Niners and Cowboys rivalry in the early 90s. It's back
legendary
and forth,
rosters. Legendary rosters.
It's back and forth with us, man. Just to give the Brodies a history here, we played in the championship together. I think we've only played each other once in the championship. You won that one. I should have won that one. I'll never.
No, you beat me last year. No, you beat me last year.
Oh, right.
That was the championship.
We played each other twice.
That was that.
We played each other twice.
So we're 1-1.
1-1. Yep. So this year for me, MVP wise, I brought back Jonathan Taylor. Last year I had him and Derrick Henry.
That was a great.
That was the reason why. To your point.
You said we were talking offline. You had the choice of either one of those in the draft.
So the year before, I was able to get Derrick Henry, for retail or wholesale rather, because nobody believed in him. They thought he was burnt out.
Facts.
And I picked up Jonathan Taylor late round because he was coming off an injury, so nobody really believed in him, and the rest is history. But this year, I was like, okay, I had the choice. I was like, okay, I think I was like 4th. I can't remember what
in the second round, coming back around. Yeah,
I didn't have the space to pick both, so I had to choose one or the other. So I just went out on a limb and chose Jonathan Taylor because I was like, I think Taylor might have a better year, because I was like, they got Danny Dimes, they're going to run the ball more, and the rest is history. So he's my MVP, obviously, clearly. But outside of that, I got to go with Jared Goff.
I was going to say, got to be Goff.
3 straight years I've drafted this dude in a late round. For some odd reason, nobody believes in Jared Goff.
And I'd never draft Goff.
My slogan for the past 3 years has been, I believe in Jared Goff, bro. And for 3 years straight, he has either won me a title, got me to the championship, or got me in contention, because I got the number 1 seed right now. So at this pace, man, if Jonathan Taylor keeps up if he keeps doing what he's doing, that keeps me in contention. My issue right now is wide receiver 2. Puka Nacua is doing great at wide receiver 1. He's a strong third for my third MVP candidate. But Debo was my number 2. And then the first few games first few games, he was great. Now he's not. So I got to see.
I would say this, Cole. You make a good point bringing up Jared Goff, because this year Jared Goff is your number 2 in your rankings. Jaden Daniels was your number 1 pick. That goes to show you, like, when it comes to fantasy, you could have had another wide receiver in that position. Again, anybody can get hurt, because a lot of the top receivers have already been hurt this year. So anybody can get hurt, but when you're picking a fantasy team, sometimes quarterback is one of those positions that you can get a good quarterback. I got Baker late in this draft. You got Jared Goff late in this draft. Their quarterback, I think Matthew Stafford goes late in drafts. He's having an MVP
all the time.
Listen, look at the rookies. Drake May is doing well. Not Brock Purdy. Who's filling it? Mac Jones. Mac Jones is getting like 48 points a week right now in fantasy. So you can find quarterbacks, in my opinion, in fantasy, but you can't find Jonathan Taylor again. Like, you're not going to find Jahmyr Gibbs again. I got Jahmyr Gibbs he was my first pick. In my opinion, I wasn't gonna get him in the second round. You don't get that chance again.
You take him now, or you miss out,
or you miss out on him. So no, that's a good call, Go.
Yeah, man. So we'll see how everything goes out there, Brodies. Again, like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Click on the bottom right hand corner, and the best Brodie. Let's see who the best Brodie wins. Now, to wrap things up here, we got a new segment, an inaugural segment, something that is keeping up with the trends as we continue to go on into the future. We got a new Brodie here, y'all. We got someone who's going to be joining us every week moving forward, and that is Mr. ChatBST. Okay. Now his name is Brodie. He goes by Brodie, and he's going to be our correspondent. Brody? And we're going to be asking Brodie certain questions that are just going on in the sports world that a lot of people just don't cover. Now, if you guys have been watching the show, you notice that the Brodies have on baseball helmets and hats instead of football hats. And that's because the World Series just ended. Shout out to the LA Dodgers that, brought home the chip. You know what I'm saying? It's a Washington team. I'm from Washington, D.C., so also we got the Nats, you know what I'm saying? So in the spirit of baseball, the Brodies were just thinking, hey, how come, in spite of baseball success, in regards to money, all these $500 million contracts these Bammers is getting despite nobody watching the game or being at the game and all this other stuff, baseball being America's game, everything dealing with the Negro leagues and all that good stuff, just the history of baseball. At one point in time, the sport was prevalent in the Black community, and in recent years, I would say post mid to late 90s, the sport hasn't really been much in the Black community at all. There's a lot of reasons behind it, but the Brodies asked Brodie, what he thought about it here. So here's what Brodie thought about why baseball isn't prevalent in the Black community.
When you look at why baseball doesn't catch on in a lot of Black neighborhoods, it really comes down to access and visibility. Fields cost money to maintain, gear is expensive, and travel ball is almost a requirement now.
All right. Appreciate that, Brodie. So Wiggs, just to kind of, give your insight, and we'll piggyback on what Brodie said. Like, why do you think baseball isn't prevalent in the Black community anymore?
Well, I think there are a couple sports that were cool when we were growing up, and baseball was probably third or fourth on that list, kind of like soccer in the Black community. Number one is basketball. We grew up with Michael Jordan, and Jordan was who we all looked up to. After Jordan, maybe you have Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders, so those are the players that we looked up to. We definitely had King Griffey.
Mm-hmm.
King Griffey Jr. was a beast back then.
Black Sammy Sosa. Barry Bonds. Pre and post juice.
Ooh, man. So we definitely had Black players to look up to, but I think the football and basketball were just a little bit more popular. And then I think we didn't, and when I say we, I should say baseball didn't invest in the little leagues the way some of the other leagues did. For instance, I played for the Police Athletic League in Detroit, which was basically a public league in Detroit that was sponsored by the city, by the police, and funded by the city to help, just fund little league teams to play sports. So I played football that way in Detroit. But when it came to baseball fields in Detroit, that was a thing that wasn't something that was well funded. It wasn't well done in our inner cities. So you started to see the difference. You didn't need so much funding for a basketball court. All you need is a hoop, and you don't even need a net. Back in the day, if we need to, we'll put a milk carton up.
Yep, you don't even need a rim.
You don't even need a rim, dog.
Yep.
So when it comes to baseball, you need gloves, you need bats, you need balls, you need space, and those things really matter when it comes to inner city funding and inner city planning. And if you don't plan, what's the saying? If you don't plan, you plan to fail, or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened. And then you have some of the other Caribbean countries that are successful. So when you have darker skinned players, the league doesn't realize, or I should say, white people don't always realize they're not African American.
Right.
They just see black, like you said, Sammy Sosa. You see Sammy Sosa, you think black. Oh, but no, Sammy's really, you know, from the Dominican or something like that. So you see the Dominican players, but they're not African American. Yeah. And that's where it's like, oh, okay, no, we have black players. No, yeah, we do, but they're not African American. You know, we have to be able to grow that homegrown talent. So.
We have nobody to identify with. Yeah. I mean, and that's, I mean, just to piggyback on what you said, and you know, and obviously that's really in correlation to what Brodie said, is the financial support. You know, the access to the resources. There's not too many baseball fields in black communities, and then also baseball now is more, you know, to Brodie's point, is more travel based. You know, so that's going to cost money. Your local boys and girls clubs really don't have that AAU style type of baseball programs available. It's mostly just basketball and football, especially in the black communities. So yeah, both you and Brodie are right on track there, and I agree. You know, like the access to the resources aren't there. Like we have like the Bowie Bay Sox, right? It's a minor league baseball team. It's nice to go there, you know, on your first date with some chick that you're trying to get to know, you know, and you got a couple of kids that inspire to play baseball. You take them there, whatever. But for the most part, you know, we got the court, we got the soccer field that we play football on, you know, in black communities, you know what I'm saying? And that's it, you know, but in the early 90s, we had Ken Griffey, you know, we had Barry Bonds, we had Darryl Strawberry. Like, we had these players. I mean, we even had Big Papi and Ortiz, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had players that we can, for the most part, we had Dion, players that we can identify with.
To go back to your point, Co, they had the Negro Leagues. And I think that's a big difference, too, in the change. Yeah, when we had the Negro Leagues, we had our own league, and we had a great league. Like, the Negro Leagues, before we integrated into the Major League Baseball, was full of great baseball players, full of talent, just full of culture, full of its own identity. And when you lose that, again, you water down, again, who we are, because we had to water ourselves down in this sport. Like you said, this is America's pastime. Jackie Robinson talked about, you know, how he had to water himself down to go into different towns, how they would have to go to different hotels because certain hotels were not accepting we're not accepting black players. So when you talk about the culture, again, for African American versus somebody coming from a Caribbean country, let's say Haiti, who's like, I just want to make it out. Like, I'm coming from Brazil. Anything is better than Brazil. Not to say, you know, anything is better than Brazil, but as far as making money, your opportunity to make money is going to be in America, in the major leagues. So you're going to look at that opportunity a lot different than, again, somebody in the inner city who maybe doesn't have this opportunity, or they're going to be playing football or basketball, you know. So you're seeing a lot of our pipeline go in a different direction, mostly football, I would say, is where we're seeing the black youth going into their football and basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, baseball, I think you could still say baseball makes more money. They have to, all the guaranteed contracts.
Money wise,
they got the better TV deals, but I don't know, man. I mean, football and basketball is more entertaining. You know, football especially has shorter seasons, like 17 games versus 162. They're 3 hours versus 3 hours minimum. You know, like there's no overtime in baseball. These Bammers can go 12 innings. You'll be up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
18 innings in the World Series.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then also as far as this like excitement, like it's one of those games where it's kind of like soccer. It's low scoring most of the time. It's more drama filled because like you can watch a game where they win 2-0. That sounds boring because you're sitting there for hours and they win 2-0. But the drama is like, oh dang, like it's 2-0 versus 52-19 like the Skins game. You know, but
22, like we keep getting our ass busted.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So it's not as quote unquote entertaining. So I understand all that, but I mean, honestly, man, like I miss it, man. Like my grandfather played in the Negro leagues. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So like I like baseball. I wanted to play baseball. I could hit on both sides of the plate. You know?
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, you know, but like basketball and football became my avenues because who the hell was playing baseball in my neighborhood? Yeah. You know, and to your point, Wiggs, as far as just like resources, because it's such an expensive sport to play, a lot of black kids don't come up with a silver spoon in their mouth. So they don't have the resources to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. But a basketball is only like $5 or $6. So let us know what you think there, Brodies. Shout out to Brodie with his inaugural segment there, man. You know, he'll be here with us next week. But let us know what you think there, y'all. Click on the bottom right hand corner on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Like and subscribe. But until then, it's the Lord here. It's the guy Jay Wiggs. It's Brodie Sports Talk, and we'll see you next week, y'all. Peace.